Test, 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 test.
Test?
Test. Is Columbia still an arm of Sony Pictures?
Yeah, I think Sony bought Columbia.
Okay.
Columbia TriStar, and they own it now. Why do you ask?
Because I just noticed that No Hard Feelings was released under Sony's banner.
Oh, it's a Sony movie.
But Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was released under the Columbia banner.
Ah, okay. I don't know why that would be.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Quentin Tarantino, when his deals are with Sony, they release it under the Columbia banner, right?
Well, he's only done one film with them, and he hasn't said whether or not he's doing it with his last film with them.
Oh, yeah.
But he probably will.
Yeah.
He's not doing it with Netflix.
He's not doing it with anyone that's going to threaten streaming.
He's not doing it with Amazon Prime.
The pushback, the streaming pushback is happening.
Can you imagine, though, if he did? Like, if he went to Netflix or Prime or any of those other streamers,
Wait, no.
and they would give him $1 billion.
Oh, yeah. He'd get like ownership stake.
He would get anything he wants. Just make content for us so we can be the only streamer with Quentin Tarantino content.
I feel like he would take it to the grave.
I think
he would take it to the grave.
I've talked about how he's creating the Tarantino verse. I mean, he could just throw, like I said, throw the Bounty Law show out there. It's like, I want to do Bounty Law, but as a shoot. Can you do it in black and white? We're going to shoot it on 16 millimeter. And I'm going to cast all unknown actors. You're not going to get Leonardo DiCaprio? No.
They would say yes.
They'd absolutely say yes. But the thing is, celebrities would want to do it. They'd all show up.
They would.
For bit parts.
Especially now more than ever. The future is so uncertain. I know the Screen Actors Guild, they punted till July 11th.
Yeah.
Now, so
I think Tom Cruise had something to do with that.
You think he did?
I think so. He really wants movies to survive. He's out there showing. He said he's got tickets to Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Opening weekend. Did you see all of the actors and directors are posing in front of?
Yes, holding up ticket stubs.
Holding up tickets, yeah, because they want to support theaters.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's crazy. And once we drop the logo, we can talk about it some more. But it's a crazy situation that the movie studios are in at the moment.
We talked about this before. Unprecedented times that we are facing as not only movie watchers, but the people in the business.
Yeah.
The people in the business.
So you realize this. Movie studios eliminated the physical media market. Now, I guess because people didn't want it. Is that why? Because it leaned into streaming? People just stopped this. They decided they don't need to buy discs anymore. That's pretty much what happened, right?
Yeah.
And, I'm a big proponent of rentals. And I rented all the time until they closed all the video stores here in Austin. But it is annoying to have to take that video back once you get used to not having to do that. Going to the video store is awesome, and browsing and then picking something out and taking it home to watch. But having to bring it back is annoying. So that's a problem. But here's the thing.
You have to make it a routine.
They eliminated that. They don't have that revenue stream anymore. And now, through I don't know what you would call it, they leaned so hard into streaming that they almost killed the theatrical market. Their other revenue stream.
Yeah.
And now they're realizing that streaming doesn't really make that much money.
And what about the movies that do not make money that become hits? They used to become hits at home, right? There's
no such thing anymore.
It can't.
No.
Like you said,
because if a movie is a hit on streaming, you just kind of hear about it, but there's no receipts.
Mm-mm.
There's no tickets sold. There's no DVDs sold. It's just, it's just a rumor.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that movie from the 80s with Danny DeVito? I think it was Danny DeVito and Kramer, where they were like hacking the Nielsen ratings.
No.
You don't remember that movie?
No.
Oh man, I don't know what it was called. I got to find it. It was like an HBO movie. But they're like hacking the Nielsen ratings to make their show a hit, and they're literally having people break into people's homes and watch the show that they're producing.
Right, because they used to Even Money. Is that it?
Is that what it was called? No, I think it was called The Ratings Game or something like that.
No. That just happened to be another movie that they were in. That was 2006.
That was probably a big genre in the late 80s.
Yeah.
Nielsen ratings hacks.
Well, did you ever notice the people who got those Nielsen boxes are the same people that will go out of their way to put a negative review online, but never a positive review online?
Yeah.
The people who had the Nielsen boxes, they were looking for a fight. Well, you
couldn't do anything. You couldn't type into the Nielsen box.
No.
You couldn't leave a review. It just pretty much just watched what you watched.
It was still a best guess. I mean, it still wasn't as high as it could have been. I just don't know how many true fans got those. Not that it matters. It's totally irrelevant now. Now we have the ability to get that data in a more efficient way, more than ever, and we can't see it.
They don't release anything.
No.
Netflix just says, they streamed 5 million hours of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
How do you know that?
I mean, they can get down to like the second now. They get when you closed, when you rewatched it, any of that. And it's not just Netflix, like anime. I was thinking about that. I haven't really been watching that much AEW lately, but you wouldn't be able to tell because Google's not going to tell because I left it recording on my DVR, my cloud DVR.
Same. I'm still recording them all.
You're still recording them all, so it's going to get credit for recording, but only Google knows when I actually click and watch on it.
Maybe.
So, but I mean, I get why Tom Cruise definitely does seem like he's flying the flag right now to save the theatrical experience. And his movie is already getting 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
I mean, I was asking you, I was like, you think that's a work? Is that the wrestler in me? I was like, you think that's a work? Like we were coming off Flash bombing, Indiana Jones bombing, Disney, every Disney movie, Elemental bombing, Little Mermaid not doing what everyone thought.
Well, here's the thing. All those movies that you just named have something going against them. I think Mission Impossible has a clear path to victory.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing stopping it. It's Tom Cruise. It's a hit franchise. He's coming off of his biggest hit ever with Maverick. I think people are ready. People are bored with superhero movies. They're bored with even though Mission Impossible is an IP, I don't think anybody really identifies it as an IP. Nobody thinks back to the show,
the '60s show.
Yeah, there's no one's.
What happened to Peter Graves?
No one's doing that. So, like, I think that has a clear path. Little Mermaid. I mean, number one, anything Disney now gets heat.
Disney's a heel, man.
Okay, and
Disney
then
is a heel.
Of course, they did. They did the blind color casting of Ariel, which is going to get major heat, unfortunately. Internet is a heel. Internet's always a heel. It's the biggest heel. What else? Flash. Flash had all kinds of things going against it.
Yeah, Flash was.
I don't know why we thought it was going to do good. Who convinced us it was going to do good for a little while? Just because Tom Cruise went and saw it. I mean, Tom Cruise is. I mean, yeah, obviously he's a supporter of the cinema, but
yeah,
Stephen King told us it was going to be good. And here's the thing: is it's not bad.
No, it's not.
It's just that they oversold it so much that when people saw it, they're just like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Pretty much, right?
No, you're absolutely right. And Disney inserting itself into whatever these wars for, even if it is culture war, whatever you want to call it, of like inserting what their agenda, or it even looks like they're picking a side, even if they're not, it's going to have negative blowback at the box office. You're right.
It's the era we live in. And then, of course, you've got Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Yeah.
And we might as well just lean into it now. Indiana Jones had everything going against it as well.
Yeah. Kathleen Kennedy being the number one.
Kathleen Kennedy is a major heel on the internet.
Yeah.
You've got, again, this is the problem that the Flash had. You've got a property that the last installment of it was terrible and universally hated. Previously to that, nobody remembered. That's 89, the one before that, the last good one.
Yeah, Last Crusade, 89.
So, the target audience for this is like 50-year-old men like us.
Yeah.
So it's just like we're not that big of a demographic.
No.
And they threw in Phoebe Waller-Bridge to try and bring in folks. It was just destined to fail. It's just it was just a bad idea. The Dial of Destiny to fail.
You said you didn't want either one of them to exist.
Yeah, I'm good with Eden. Yeah, if that's what that should have been the plot of Dial of Destiny. Is like, I'm going to go back and to Last Crusade and end it on that shot of us riding off into the sunset.
On Kevin Smith's podcast, I watched that because I was because he's a baby face. He finds a way to like a lot of movies. Same as I. Yeah. Same as me. I do that where his partner that he talks to will be a straight shooter. Mm-hmm. And he went back and rewatched Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls, and he said that felt more Indiana Jones to him than this one.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I actually, here's what happened. I did the Dial of Destiny solo watch, and it was what it was. I have feelings about it, but then I had other tickets, and I was going to actually take Lucha Lati, but then this is what happened. This is why I love Sling. Woke up Saturday morning, and Sling was just playing Indiana Jones, all the Indiana Jones movies all day.
Really?
And she'd never seen any of them. Refused to for years.
What?
Just won't do it.
Really?
So we hopped in halfway through Temple of Doom, and she got into Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom's so good. Yeah. It's impossible not to get into the second half of Temple of Doom.
Absolutely.
I don't care how much how much heat you have with it. So it got through Temple of Doom. The Last Crusade came on right after that. Then Crystal Skulls came on right after that.
So you did rewatch it recently.
I did. I rewatched Crystal Skulls just the other day.
Yeah.
And man, some of the heat I have with that movie, I've let go. Especially after seeing Dial of Destiny. Not because I think Dial of Destiny is bad. It's just I have a lot of thoughts on this. This is probably gonna be the whole 2 hours. The first half of Crystal Skulls is actually okay. You know? I think. Well, I mean, what did you think of Dial of Destiny? Just doing a legit review.
I was fine with it. I didn't like my only heat that I had with it is, I called it like Indiana Jones and the Polar Express. That really, and I guess
so. You didn't think the de-aging worked?
No, because they didn't de-age his voice,
exactly,
and it kept distracting me. And I should have reiterated it with. I was in a very distracted film environment.
So you were at the tell the folks.
So we went to Screen X in Houston, Texas, and let's see if we can actually show you what that looks like.
I'm sorry, close-up cam is still out, but we're gonna have to put it on the.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it might not turn properly. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but I mean, I was trying to film. It was on 3 screens. And it wasn't it wasn't the entire movie. When the scenes got bigger, all of a sudden, the lens started shooting out, and then it stretched onto the 2 screens next to you. So the movie was literally around you. It just wasn't behind you, but you were totally immersed in it. So I got completely immersed in this CGI, which it looked fine, but something felt off. Something felt uncanny valley. Is that what everybody says when something feels a little off?
Yeah.
The scene itself was fine.
But I think you're absolutely right. The voice is the problem.
Yeah.
The voice is the huge problem. And I know that there's probably, as an actor, you want to do the part, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's hard for an 85-year-old man to play a 40-year-old man.
Yeah. Didn't they de-age Luke's voice when he came back for those episodes?
Here's the thing. Luke was not a de-age. Luke was a deep fake.
Oh, which is different.
This is actually Harrison Ford playing the part, which I think is an issue. I'm sorry, it's a problem. An 80-year-old man moves different than a 40-year-old man. It can't be helped.
Yeah.
No heat.
Yeah.
It just didn't look right. And then you do the voice. You don't de-age the voice. I don't know why you wouldn't de-age the voice. Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what and it was a big chunk of the movie. It was a big chunk.
If I'm Harrison Ford and the check is the same, just deep fake me. Yeah. Let the stuntman do it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Harrison Ford does have some pretty specific mannerisms.
Oh, yeah.
That make him that. And the thing about Indiana Jones, I realized watching this last one, is one of the things that's cool about him is that he doesn't move like an action star. He moves like he's a college professor,
Yeah.
Especially he runs like a college professor would run.
Right.
He could have taught his a good actor could have copied his mannerisms and done just an amazing job. And I think that scene could have been, the scene is fine, but the scene has other problems.
Yeah.
The scene has other problems. Here's another major problem with that scene. Every time there's an opening scene in any other Indiana Jones movie, it has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. And in this one, they installed a huge plot. The entire plot is spelled out in the opening scene.
Oh, yes.
That's strange. That doesn't make sense, isn't it? The Indiana Jones opening scene should always be a throwaway.
The James Bond type of
exactly.
Opening. Yeah, I didn't realize.
Till he gets back,
say that.
Till he gets back to the university and the actual plot starts. And instead, they put so much story into the beginning, and it was too story heavy,
Yeah.
Also, it's too long. You mentioned the other day, you said your aunt went to see Temple of Doom and was like, it started with action and never stopped.
Yep.
It's like that's what they tried to do with this movie, but again, Indy's 80 at this point. You gotta lean into that.
Yeah. Like I said, I wouldn't call it a bad movie at all. I wouldn't call it a bad movie.
It's not a bad movie, and in a lot of ways, it's better than Crystal Skulls. but in a couple of ways, it's not as good as Crystal Skulls.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
I noticed another thing, dude. I have so many thoughts on this. We're not going to get to another topic. I noticed another thing. One of the things that you realize, when you watch Crystal Skulls, it looks different. And you watch this movie, it looks different. It doesn't look like Indiana Jones. And you think, oh, it's new cameras, whatever, new lenses. That's probably the issue. And I realized this. Douglas Slocum shot the first three. The cinematographer was Douglas Slocum, and I think he's the missing ingredient here. Did you watch that thing I sent you with the Indiana Jones in black and white?
Yes.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I watched the whole thing.
Cool.
I was like, this is awesome. So Steven Soderbergh, for the folks at home, did this thing where he took Raiders of the Lost Ark, dropped out the audio, put the whole thing in black and white, and then added a soundtrack from 9 Inch Nails or something. And when you watch it, you're just getting the visuals, and you realize how well this movie's shot and how great the lighting is.
Right.
And I think that, and he shot the first three. That's missing in Crystal Skulls. That's why Crystal Skulls looks so strange. I think they got closer in Dial of Destiny, but it's a huge part of what makes Indiana Jones.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think that's what made the whole movie have a feeling like something felt off. Like it wasn't a bad movie, but something fell off. Just the little things, whether it's the little things of like, why didn't they take the time to put Short Round in there as hot as he is right now?
Instead, we got a short round, a fake short round?
Yeah.
Come on.
And it was just, and she wasn't very nice. and maybe that was the direction that she wanted to go.
Oh, you're talking about Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was talking about Ryan, or what's the kid's name again?
Oh, yeah. I don't even remember his name. Her sidekick.
Yeah. Her short round.
Yeah. Her short round. So was there something that happened in this movie similar to like Falcon and the Winter Soldier where something was cut and decisions were made and they went in a different direction? Like the rumor was she was going to take over. Do you think that's what happened and then they just pivoted?
Well, I think they definitely telegraphed that quite a bit in this movie.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. Especially, there's a scene where, I don't know what town they're in, she comes out and she's kind of dressed like Indiana Jones, but her hat's white.
Yes.
And then she makes a couple of offhanded comments about his hat a couple of times. So I think that they were setting up with that. And honestly, I think that's fine. I think it would have been fine if they had played this right. Like Phoebe Waller-Bridge being the new Indiana Jones, but in the 70s. I like that idea.
Oh, yeah.
I like that idea. I think that works.
It wasn't the actor, it was the execution.
Yeah.
Because we'll shoot on if they would have ended it where, do we need to put a spoiler warning up? I don't know.
That's fine. Put it for the people. I love you're always warning the people.
I know.
Even though they've seen it already, and they're not going to see it at all. They don't care.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are so adamant that you're just not going to go see it.
Yeah,
and same with Flash too.
Yeah,
that's impressive. They're stronger than I, because I enjoy the theater experience. But like, if they would have just booked it where they got a time machine and they would have booked it the same way I told you this, like Quantum Leap, he does go back in time, and then he finds a way to go to different points in time, and now she becomes the archaeologist of Indiana Jones is sending her messages throughout time, and that gives her the inspiration to try to become an archaeologist like him. She's trying to piece together all these messages from time. You don't even need to have Harrison Ford anymore, right? Yeah. You just put little clues here and there, and now she has a reason to be an archaeologist. But they had the time machine. Well, no, it wasn't. It was a compass that showed you how to jump to certain points in time. So it wasn't a time.
Only one point in time.
One single point in time, and that's it.
Which I did like. I mean, once you kind of when they're about to go into the time rift, you have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah,
that was good. It's been a long time since you go to a tentpole film and not have any idea what's about to happen.
That's true. Yeah, I had no idea.
That was really good. I think a lot of stuff was cut from this movie. A lot of stuff was reshot.
It feels like that. That's what it is. Like, it's not a bad movie, but something felt missing.
Yeah, I thought that they really telegraphed the watch a lot.
Yeah.
Here's I don't know what the original ending was. I'm sure this movie has 50 endings on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to bet that the original ending had something to do, because you see there's a scene where Indy's like, "Give me back my watch. That was my father's watch."
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yep.
And then of course they show the Nazis' watch and all that stuff. I have a feeling that in one version of this movie, the corpse that they find in Archimedes' tomb is not Archimedes, but it's Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And that's his watch. That's what I think.
Yeah. That's very possible. Like exactly what we were just talking about, sending her messages through time.
Yeah. I think there has to be a version of that out there somewhere. I think that they could have done anything with this time loop scenario, time travel scenario. Could have done just about anything. To me, it would have been great for Indiana Jones to become an artifact. Isn't that's poetic justice.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's what I love the thought of an archaeologist lost in time. He
becomes an artifact.
Yeah.
And then you cut to present day 69 and they're digging up his tomb. It's got the watch and there's the hats in there.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh wow, he became an artifact. And the whole movie sets that up. It's just like, oh, I'm so miserable. My wife left me. My son's dead. I got nothing to live for. And I got no heat with that premise. That's fine if you're going to do that, but go all the way. You know?
Yeah, I don't think that for it to be the final adventure to end, to have him being depressed a lot of the movies. It's 2023. Nobody needs to go to the movies to be sad that one of their heroes is completely screwed.
Well, they backed out at the very end.
That's
that's the part to me that doesn't work. If your hero is going to be depressed, if this is going to be about him being depressed and him becoming a human artifact of history, is a great ending for him. Give him that ending.
Yeah.
It's kind of look at the very end. After Phoebe Waller-Bridge knocks him out, and he's in the. Here's the thing: why did Indy always live in New York? I didn't realize he.
No, that was new.
That was new, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was new.
So you come back from this adventure. He's in this tiny apartment with Marion, and where does he go from here? Is this a happy ending? To have your elderly parents live in a tiny apartment in New York,
yeah,
have to fend for themselves, and like it just seemed like they really backed off what could have been an epic ending.
Yeah,
whatever it was, it could have been a lot of things, but they instead did nothing.
That's what it felt like. Nothing. They felt like nothing because they went from Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls, where you had the happy ending, you had the wedding, you had Mutt trying to take the hat, and then like, no, I'm not ready for you to take that hat yet. To Mutt's dead. My life is in shambles. My wife left me because she's completely depressed, and I don't know how to fix her, and I think I'm broken too.
Like, what couldn't it have been possible? Indiana Jones, one of the most brilliant men in cinema history. If he was stuck in 2000 BC, he would have figured out a way to get his message to his son to not join the army.
Yes.
Like, I think that would have been a thing. That
would have been great.
He would have figured it out.
Yeah.
I think that would have been awesome. Like, I don't know. It's not like Elon Musk. It's just some brilliant scientist gets thrown back in time. This is just Indiana Jones, right? He's just a regular kind of smart guy.
Yeah.
He's not gonna invent any kind of technology. He's just gonna be there.
Doc Brown sent the telegram to Marty.
Did. So why couldn't we get something like that? Wouldn't that have been great?
If Phoebe Waller-Bridge
sent a telegram 2,000 years into the future, what an ending!
Via carved stone, and she finds it, because she's an archaeologist now, and she's trying to find. He's sending me messages through time. Man, that would have been great.
Something like that. Instead, they did nothing, which I think, because of that movie will kind of just fade into obscurity like the last one.
Yeah, and maybe that's what really feels the most off about this. Again, not a bad movie. Did not feel like the last one. And now this is going to be the last one.
If you go by the ending, it doesn't seem like they did a last one at all. Like they were like, oh, we're going to do another one. Let's bring Indiana Jones back.
Oh, man.
Harrison Ford does not want to do one. I was watching the red carpet, and the reporters were going up to him and be like, if you had the dial of destiny, where would you go? Where would you go? And he said, home.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to do it. And I don't think the public is, well, we know what we were just talking about. Theaters are, box office is struggling right now because I think people are just tired of getting burned. I don't think you can make another Indiana Jones. I feel like this, literally, they made it the last one, but not in a good way. You did not leave happy and they lived happily ever after. They rode off into the sunset. No, you feel like, oh man, and that was the last one. There's so many unanswered questions, you can't go anywhere with this now. They pretty much, she nuked the franchise. And this franchise, at least when Kathleen Kennedy is nuking Star Wars, it wasn't really hers to begin with.
Yeah.
This one, she had a lot more to do. Well, clearly didn't have anything to do with the creative, but she was a part of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you want to leave it on a good note? I would have been okay with the fake out of, if you want the franchise to continue with Phoebe Waller-Bridge, I would have been okay with that. But that didn't even feel like that could happen.
It's just the unimaginable pressure of having to make a $300 million decision.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, it's hard enough, in B2B video making to get somebody to decide what the ending of a video is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it's like a video, just a little rinky-dinky product video is shot in a day. It takes forever for someone to decide what the shots are. You're talking about a $300 million movie based on an internationally beloved 50-year-old IP. For somebody to say, and in the end, Indiana Jones becomes an artifact. Which is baller. Like, I bet maybe James Mangold said that in the meeting, was like, that's awesome. But for the suits, the bean counters, the folks who are accountable,
the people who shouldn't be making
money,
creative decisions,
they cannot do that. They need the safest answer they can. What is one thing we can do that won't please anybody but not piss anybody off? Which is what the game they're playing. Oh. It's a bummer. They could have done a lot. And the thing is, it's a good movie. It's a pretty good movie. I do have another. Here's another.
Before we jump off that thread, yeah. I just got to say, the end of Quantum Leap was just a title card, and it still sticks in my head. And all it said, you didn't even see what happened. They didn't show anything. It was just a black screen, white font, and Sam Beckett never returned home. He's lost in time.
But that's because they canceled the show.
Right. But
they said, don't shoot the finale. We're done. Go home.
Back in the day. But man, it accidentally worked. Like, if you would have just said Indiana Jones, it becomes an artifact, somebody needs to go into that server and delete that's all folks circle that they used in Mandalorian.
What was with that Porky Pig circle?
They did it again with the circle. Who is booking
What's up,
that?
Anthony?
Anthony, what's up? Who's editing that circle made it into two very important endings?
I mean, they did a very 1930s kind of thing, where Indy is from. But I think one of the things that really worked in this movie, more so than the last one, was putting Indy in the 60s. The 60s came through. The 50s seemed stupid.
Yeah.
But the 60s came through, and there's that one black FBI agent. She's awesome.
Yeah, she was fantastic. She was so good.
So it was this is kind of cool. That's why I thought Phoebe Waller-Bridge could have spun off of this and done a show. Been archaeologist in the 70s is pretty good. That still kind of works.
Oh,
you know? You could have done something with that. She doesn't have to be Indiana Jones. She can be what is her name? Helena something.
Yeah, Helena
You know?
Shaw.
Helena Wombat.
Yeah,
Or whatever.
Wombat.
Yeah. You could have done something
You could
with
have
that.
called it Wombat. Yeah.
I think that's a pretty good show. But like, yeah, it just, again, here's the thing. Don't make these movies so expensive.
J. Edgar Hoover, yeah, he did have a brief on Indy. Yeah, enough with the big budget. Enough.
They should have known who he was already.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they know who Indiana Jones is?
Yeah.
They said in Crystal Skulls, they said that he was in World War II and he helped us so much. We never saw any of that.
Yeah.
So they would know who Indiana Jones is.
Yeah, man, do you really think it's a coincidence that the same EP, the same studio head is behind it, and this is the second hero that she turned into a crazy, grumpy, I hate my life old man. I'm sorry, your hero just turns out to be an old man who's just not happy with life. Is that really a coincidence? She just did it twice now.
Well, I mean, I wonder how much of that is Harrison Ford. I wonder if that's his input.
But it just felt very much like Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi.
It did. It felt a lot like that.
And it's just sad because, again, I don't blame Phoebe Waller-Bridge at all. It's the same way I don't blame.
I think she did a fine job. I
Yeah.
think she was fine in that movie.
And it's the same way I don't have heat with any of the sequel trilogy actors at all. It's not them. They're just booked wrong. The character's fine. The actors are fine. You're just booking them wrong.
Yeah.
And if you really wanted this to continue, that was not the way to do it.
I don't think they wanted to continue, that's why it's so weird. Like, I think they intend Harrison Ford's not doing another one.
No.
He's not doing another one.
No.
As it is, I mean, every action scene is him driving a car. It's like he couldn't do anything else.
Right.
It's just like that's pretty much. There's like 3 car scenes. That's the most he can do. You can't do a whole lot of.
Right.
I would have liked to seen, if we're gonna fantasy book it here, I would have liked to see Indy be more of the victim. You know what I mean? Like in the street, what is it, in the market scene where Marion gets kidnapped in Raiders.
Oh, yep.
You just flip it and let Indy get kidnapped, and it's Wombats trying to save him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that would have
But
been
they made her such a heel at first. She didn't need to be so much of a heel.
No. What? Why?
Yeah.
They never really explained why.
Yeah.
They didn't really establish that whole relationship with him to begin with, other than that long train ride. Was he in any other movies?
Who?
Her dad.
No, that's what's strange. I don't know why they invented a new character. It could have been anybody's daughter.
Marcus Brody.
It could have been
right?
Brody's daughter.
Right.
It could have been why is it not what's his name? Ravenwood.
Yeah.
Why is it not Professor Ravenwood?
There's so many directions
Professor
you could have went.
Ravenwood's illegitimate daughter.
Yeah.
What?
It could have been anything like that. They just literally, and I have no heat with the actor, but you invented a character out of nowhere. Again, just
It's not
just
necessary.
Strange decisions. You walk out confused, not angry, because it's not like, oh, I hated that movie. It's just more like confused and like what could have been like. And then we spend time doing, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Do they not do, what happened to the focus groups? Do they do focus groups anymore?
I'm positive they do, but the thing is, spoiler culture is so huge now that I think they do like controlled focus groups that aren't giving you that's not giving them a proper reading.
I guess, because man,
But this movie is only for the fans. Nobody who has never heard of Indiana Jones would have any interest in this movie.
no.
Who in the world on TikTok wants to watch a movie about a college professor who searches for artifacts? An 80-year-old college professor goes to Madagascar to search for,
No.
an old artifact. That's
No.
not a movie anybody wants to see these days.
No, it was an old franchise, and they just shovel it out for a little bit of extra money, I guess.
Did he even swing on the whip in this one? I don't even think he did.
He just in that one scene, which they had in the trailer, when back off and then the gun.
But he didn't swing on the whip.
Oh, no, swing. Oh, you meant swing. No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think he did. Now I know exactly what you meant, where it's just like, I kind of wish the movie didn't exist so we wouldn't have these confused feelings.
I would like to have the Dial of Destiny and erase these two movies out of existence.
Just to ride off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Because I
would like to correct the internet, though, if the internet's listening. Because I see this a lot. Everyone keeps saying the third Indiana Jones movie was called The Last Crusade. And it's like, it's The Last Crusade. It was meant to be the last one, right? No. It's The Last Crusade, as in the Crusades, as in this is the last part of the Crusades, not the last Indiana Jones movie.
Yes. Oh, that's a good point.
Can you tell the internet about that? Because they keep bringing it up.
You just did.
Because, like, they keep saying that's like, oh, Last Crusade, it was supposed to... No, they weren't saying this is the last Indiana Jones movie. This is The Last Crusade.
I think
the movie was about the Crusades.
I think they were hoping for a little bit of a double entendre, right? Maybe,
but that's
but you're
definitely
absolutely right. That was not. They didn't mean it in the literal sense.
Exactly.
Because I don't think they were ready to close the door.
No, not if they're not. Not if there's money to be made. It would come back.
How did you feel about the way the handling of Mutt?
I'm fine with it. I think it was a good, being that it was in the 60s. It was a good way to do it. I mean, I was fine with sad Indiana Jones, but they just didn't pay off that arc. You know what I mean? It can't just be sad Indiana Jones has nothing. He's alone in this crappy apartment. Nobody likes him. Nobody likes Indiana Jones. Can you imagine that world? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
And the best thing that could have happened to him is he go back in time and become an artifact. And they took that away from him. So I was okay with it because I feel like, again, I think the audience for this movie is 50-year-old people, 50-year-old men.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think it would be easy for them to identify with what Indiana Jones is going through, just being like, nobody respects me, nobody likes me anymore, blah, blah, I'm old. I'm not cool anymore, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that would be easy to get into. It's just they didn't pay it off, you know?
No.
They just didn't pay it off, and it's just like, in the end, it's better to just come back to your crappy life and write it out.
Yeah, it's like you're needed here.
He says it. For what? For what? They spend the whole movie establishing that he's useless now.
Yeah.
They should have given him something. Let Indiana Jones be valuable at the very end of his life.
Oh, a hero's death? I mean,
a hero's death.
I think it would have been okay with that. And I very much have heat with these actors wanting to go back and kill the big roles, their heroes, because they felt like it's worth it. And I don't think it always makes sense. Like, Rocky was always constantly trying to kill Rocky. Stallone was always trying to find a way. We got to kill him off. Han Solo was always trying to find, Harrison Ford was trying to do that. And in a way, that kind of made sense. They didn't pay it off, but I liked the direction where they were going. I think in this movie, it would have made more sense to kill off Marion, even if it happened off screen. And that's really what got the grief, not necessarily Mutt. I think it would have made more sense if she did the job. And then he totally would have been willing to go back and be an artifact, or maybe both of them.
Yeah,
like maybe both of them, or like you said, he finds a way. Maybe Mutt dies in the war, and then Marion can't take it, and then she dies.
He goes back, becomes an artifact, somehow saves them both by sending them messages through time. I mean, come on, man!
Yeah,
like, they could have done anything. They could have done anything, and instead they just gave us this haphazard ending.
I think that would have been great. He sends the message, Mutt lives, and then you can just imagine, well, if Mutt lives, would Marion have lived?
Exactly.
What would happen?
Marion,
and then that would have been the way to go.
Yeah.
And she would have been kind of like mad at him, but okay with him, because that would have been like the hero. I don't know what this was. It apparently was a callback just to the kissing the elbow scene from like Raiders.
Yeah, it was awkward.
Yeah, it was really awkward.
That whole
and
last
like, come
scene
on,
was
everybody, let's go get some ice cream. Dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. Like, what? Did this movie just really end?
Yeah.
Do you ever get that feeling when you're in a movie like, oh, please don't be over?
It was a strange ending. Like, they should have rolled credits after the punch. After she punches him and knocks him out. Just roll credits there. Dun, 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 dun,
She put him in a
dun,
coma.
dun. Yeah,
She hit him so hard.
or anything. I mean, yeah, I don't know. They could have even rolled credits right before they go into the time warp.
Yeah.
Tune in next week to see what happens on Indiana Jones.
Oh man, to go back to the regular serials.
Yeah, something like that. Like I don't know. I think that they really, for lack of a better word, they just wussed out on the ending there. They couldn't decide on a proper ending. Like they didn't really just want to make a decision. They just like, let's just leave it vague just in case there's more money to be made.
Oh man!
Instead, and then they just ruined it all. But again, this movie is a gamble from the beginning. A $300 million tentpole movie with an 85-year-old star, doing action is never a safe bet. It's not a safe bet if Chris Pratt does it. And,
no.
This is not a safe bet. But
think about this: the way
I didn't see where the money went either. Didn't look that expensive. I feel like that's all COVID stuff because they had to do COVID precautions.
Oh yeah, I did. I think I saw that somewhere that did balloon the budget with all the testing and the way they had to separate all the shoots out, and that ballooned the budget.
Man, just wait. Y'all should have just waited.
Well, how come the only one has there been another franchise that have successfully passed the baton like Jurassic Park did to Jurassic World?
Creed.
Yeah, Creed did it. Yeah, exactly.
Creed is one of the only ones I can think of. Jurassic World did fine.
And I would have been totally fine with Jurassic Park. Skip the next Lost World, skip part 3, and then we would have got Jurassic World, and then you can skip those other last 2 as well.
Sure.
But the baton from the first one to the new first one was perfect.
Police Academy 4 to Police Academy 5. And they passed the baton from Mahoney to the other guy.
To Assignment Miami Beach.
Yeah.
I don't know what Creed was a perfect pass. A perfect pass. And Stallone may not say it was perfect because all of a sudden he's against it. But man, I love I think of the Creed movies as part of the Rocky series, the same way Jurassic World is part of the Jurassic Park. Why could they not figure, with all the money they have, could they not get somebody in there? Somebody has to have a way better idea. If we're just spitballing and coming up with ideas, there's got to be somebody that's on the payroll that's got better ideas.
Yeah.
To have passed that off. But anyway, if we watch this review back, we might think, oh, they really didn't like this movie. No, we did. We liked it well enough.
I liked it. I just wish it didn't exist. That's all.
Oh, man. So Tom Cruise holding up a ticket stub is not going to help. And he's been putting Harrison Ford over big. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you saw this interview that's floating around with him. He has no plans to retire, which I get.
Who, Harrison Ford?
No, Tom Cruise.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Cruise is 61, and he says he wants to be making Mission Impossible movies all the way up to the same age as Harrison Ford. And he did. He held up the ticket stub, and he's like, for 40 years, you created such a great, iconic character. Can Tom Cruise pull that off? How come he got canceled for jumping on a couch, right? It wasn't anything... Like, there's rumors about him, but that was the only thing that really he got called out on, right?
Well, he's also in a weird cult, but I mean, we don't like to mention that.
I meant like the official. Oh no, he came out against pills, right?
That's part of the whole cult thing. Yeah.
I guess that all kind of gets bucking in.
Yeah.
But people forgot about it.
I mean, yeah, I think so. The thing about that weird cult that he's a big fan of is they have a lot of reach and they have a lot of power.
Yeah, they got a lot of
money. So they can help folks in the cult. I don't know
how are they able to keep... Pro wrestling couldn't keep kayfabe with the internet. How are they able to keep kayfabe alive?
They have the strong grip in Hollywood. They can push people, put them over. These guys are like... what's the guy who ran Mid-South?
Oh, Bill Watts.
They're like Bill Watts, but in cults. They can make you a star, or they can bury you.
Oh, so before we jump off of Indy, I know we were. I didn't. I pulled this up and I was going to read it to you. James Mangold talking about the ending. So he had to shoot down one of the wilder online rumors of recent suggesting the film would end with Phoebe Waller-Bridge's Helena Shaw using the device to time travel style machine to effectively insert herself into the events of the previous films and become the new Indiana. And he said, the ending he got is the ending we wrote 2 years ago. When you start writing anything, you don't know exactly how you're going to land it. You just keep working. And there were moments when I thought maybe there's going to end up going back to Germany and he'll stop Mads from doing what he's doing. But I felt like we already did that with the opening.
My good friend Oscar Mayer would call that baloney. That's total baloney. The threads of other endings are in the movie.
Yes.
They're
it
there.
feels like that, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. He's been going online a little bit and getting not as deep as like Ryan Johnson.
You know what that's what we call Hollywood kayfabe.
Yeah.
We don't do we're smarter than that. We know what's going on. Yeah. We're smartened up.
Yeah, and he said Mangold, he never had any intentions of leaving Indian line in the past. It seems to me it would have been kind of a suicide by time warp and kind of grim. Like, is he really going to be happy? Even Phoebe says with leeches and blah, 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 watching people haul dung around in carts and slaves. No, the whole thing seems more like the impulse of a guy who doesn't know what he would be going home for. What?
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. No. Shout out to James Mangold for doing business.
Yeah. He's trying.
That's 100% not true.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Him in the past hauling dung and doing whatever an ancient Greece. That's his dream.
Yeah, you literally just said
that's
of the worst.
Dream. Anything in the past. Imagine every Indiana Jones movie, there's always the part where he explains the whole premise of whatever the artifact is, and he's so into it and so excited, right?
Yeah.
And you're telling me putting him in that scenario, putting him in that book would not be the greatest experience for him?
Yeah.
In his twilight years? I mean, he's not going to live that much longer, let's be real.
Right.
Indiana Jones is not going to live that much longer. We can say that.
Yeah.
No heat, no disrespect.
No.
You know, he ain't, and you know what? Whatever. He'll be wearing diapers shortly. We don't know heat, but it's just like let him have a last adventure.
Right. That would be the way
Indiana
to go.
Jones in the tiny apartment is the next movie. Indiana Jones and the slumlord from hell. It's just like, why? I mean, he came back for Marion, but like, we already had that ending. We had the Marion ending in Crystal Skulls.
We did.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, it didn't make any sense.
Mangold's full of shit. I'm sorry, don't mean to curse, but it's just like, he's doing his job. He's doing his job.
Does he? So, you don't think Kathleen Kennedy gets fired? Does James Mangold now lose that Star Wars origin story?
I mean, I think it's gonna when you flop a $300 million movie, it hurts no matter what. Hopefully, he already booked his next job. He's an excellent director. He's gonna have to get this off of his back.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, because it can be huge. Look at Abrams. Look, J.J. Abrams. Where's he?
Yeah.
We ain't heard anything.
He's still recovering.
He's doing the Hot Wheels movie right now. It's like, oh my God, are you serious? So it's gonna. It could be bad for him, and I think that's why Spielberg brought him in. I think Spielberg brought him in. I'm realizing this. Something that went wrong with Crystal Skulls was that Indy was Spielberg and George Lucas's idea.
Yep.
And I think when we got to Crystal Skulls, Spielberg did not want to shoot down any of George's ideas. He was just working with him, trying to make it work. And he directed the crap out of it. Well directed. But all the gimmicks in it are awful. So I think that he just was like, I humored my friend. I'm just going to just not do it. Let somebody else do it. That's fine. They want me to give a thumbs up or down. Has Spielberg commented on it as you watched it? Is there any tweets from Spielberg?
No, I haven't seen anything about it.
But I think that I think that he just kind of like just stepped away. I forgot what we were talking about, but anyway.
No, you're saying that you think Spielberg was in a way passing the buck because it's going to happen. What's going to happen to him is the same thing that kind of happened with the prequel trilogies. Like all the hate that went to George went away,
Yeah.
and now people love the prequel trilogy, and now all that heat is going on Disney.
Yeah.
And Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh, let me just add another thing. Can I just say, when I sat down at this movie, and the first thing that came up was the Disney logo, I threw up in my mouth a little. I was like, "What? I don't like this already. I'm uncomfortable. I don't want to get out of here." Some folks online were calling it Disney-ana Jones.
Disney-ana Jones. Man, Disney is in trouble. Like they bought 3 mega studios, and they're failing upwards.
They're about to not be able to afford to keep the Marvel movies on Disney Plus.
That's what it sounds like.
They're going to have to drop them and license them out instead of having them on there.
Wow, they have Lucasfilms, Marvel, and Pixar.
Oh man, that Lucasfilms logo used to be beautiful, and now it's just like,
yeah.
All I wanted to see was the Paramount logo. Sorry, y'all. I get it, but the Paramount logo is what we need.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting how Disney's going to survive this whole. They have so much blowback, and people aren't going to theaters anymore. And
people are going; they're just not going to their movies.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
The biggest movies of the year are Spider-Verse and Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, yeah.
Two cartoons they didn't do.
That's gotta sting a little bit.
That's
right?
gotta sting a lot. The third is like Guardians, but I mean, again, that's James Gunn, who's got his own set of problems.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think Disney overextended, and now they're feeling the crunch.
Man, it's just sad. I thought Disney was supposed to be the happiest place on earth, and now what's the reason to have Disney Plus right now? Just for watching some of the older stuff that did work?
I have no idea. Is anybody watching Secret Invasion? I don't think so.
It's the second lowest Marvel show in front of only Miss Marvel, and we don't know if it's going to continue to play. I'm watching. I mean, but I'm still. There's only 6 episodes, and they're two in. So I will reserve my opinion until it completes. I had to watch Miss Marvel on fast forward, and same with Moon Knight. I really just had a kind of limp. I had a limp.
I thought you enjoyed them.
I just kind of limped through because I'm a completist, but I did fast forward a lot.
Yeah.
On those two.
I just think, I think I don't know what's gonna happen, but we're definitely approaching a reset phase. A brand split.
There's a lot of people.
A draft.
Yeah, something's got to happen. And this month, the thumbnail shows it, this month is so important for theaters right now. Like after that huge blow, because Indiana Jones and Flash was a 1-2. And now we have Mission Impossible, which, a lot of experts are saying even if that was a hit, that can't save the summer box office. They're counting on Barbie versus Oppenheimer, that battle to save the summer. To save the summer.
My money's on Barbie.
But this could be their 2023's version of the Color Wars, right? Let's pit them against each other. But for the most part, a lot of people are going to see both. But then I read somewhere that Oppenheimer might be tracking to open in 3rd place if Mission Impossible does as well as it is on track to do. It
opens first?
Yeah, no.
I can see that, yeah.
Mission Impossible opens, and then Barbie and Oppenheimer in the same day, but they think Mission Impossible week 2 could potentially beat Oppenheimer week 1.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Because Oppenheimer is more like an Oscar movie.
Yeah.
It's not like a summer action movie.
They're going to get a lot of the premium screens. They should have opened
Oppenheimer in the fall.
Yeah, that's true. But those premium screens that cost money. Do you know, I didn't tell you this, dude. One ticket to Screen X was $21.
Damn.
$21. So I'll go in movies with you or my son, but I'm also a solo movie goer. I can keep my bill pretty much the same. What is a big family? How do you take your family to the movies?
Yeah.
Like every week.
Yeah.
You can't. You'll go broke.
I have no idea.
They're right. And that Kevin Smith
If I had a
was talking
family,
about
I'd leave
this.
him at home and go solo. Probably have to.
Kevin Smith was shocked. He's like, it's like you can come to Smodcastle. It's just like we'll charge you like $10.
Yeah.
Like why are people charging so much? But he's like, oh wait a minute. But yeah, I mean, I guess we got to sell our popcorn and our soda.
Well, the movies are so expensive. They're $10 million. They're $300 million.
Enough. Well, do we need them to be that expensive?
No, we don't. You really don't.
I told you this off the air that Kevin Smith at Smodcastle said that at the same time that The Flash was playing and it had like 25 people in there, the Blues Brothers was playing in a theater and was sold out. The Blues Brothers from 1980.
Yeah.
And what was the budget on that? And that probably even had a higher budget.
Oh, that movie went so over budget. That was basically like the Indiana Jones of its time. And you know what? That movie's epic. I will never get sick of watching it.
Great. It's so good. It holds up really well. Like I've rewatched that not too long ago. Like you can watch that movie and obviously it looks dated as far as like the cars and the clothes and the people in it. But as far as like the story, what a great original story for a Saturday Night Live movie.
Yeah.
The Chicago classic. But they were, anyway, to go back to it, they were saying that they think Mission Impossible, if it does well enough, Oppenheimer's not going to be able to hold on to some of the premium screens that it wants. Like it's definitely going to have the IMAX, but Mission Impossible is playing in IMAX, but Oppenheimer was shot to play in IMAX. So I don't think,
here's my prediction is Oppenheimer's not going to do as well as anybody thinks it is.
Yeah.
I don't think the trailers are particularly a draw to any young people.
No.
Who are off for the summer. Like I said, this to me seems like a fall movie you release for Oscar consideration. I don't think it's going to do that well. It could possibly flop, but I think it'll have legs. It's Nolan, but let's face it, Tenet. I think Tenet was super divisive. I don't think a lot of people liked it. I didn't really care for it. So it's got an uphill climb to it.
Yeah. People are planning Barbie parties.
People are going to be partying their asses off to watch Barbie.
Yeah.
They're going to have... I mean, Alamo has like cocktail parties and brunches and all kinds of stuff going to watch Barbie. Hey, I think Barbie is going to be really good. It has to be. I mean, it's got the IP. They gave the IP to Greta Gerwig, who is a great director.
Yeah.
And just, on the upswing. And her husband wrote it, who is Noah Baumbach.
Noah Baumbach, right?
And he usually writes like family dramas. So I think this is going to be like a subversive Barbie movie. I think it's going to have some teeth. So I think it's going to be really good. Oppenheimer, we know what we're getting. We know we're getting a drama. We know we're getting a period piece. But again, is that a summer movie? Do I want that in July? I want that in September.
Right. Yeah, and the whole thing is, again, we're past the sweet spot. Like, what's going to get the 18 to 24 to the theaters? Not Oppenheimer.
Not Oppenheimer. They'll go for Barbie.
Yeah, they will go for Barbie for sure, and
they'll go for Mission Impossible too.
Yeah.
I think Oppenheimer. I think maybe Chris Nolan needs a little bit of a reality check. He was gunning so hard to release Tenet in theaters during the pandemic, and it's like, bro, you see you watch the news? Do you watch CNN? I don't watch CNN. I don't watch television. But you are aware there's an invention called television, and on this invention they have news.
Nice, Quentin.
You should tune in to the CNN channel and just watch for a little bit. But I'm just saying, I think that he might have put himself in a bad spot.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic film. Just maybe not a July movie. Maybe a September, November movie. I'd rather go see Oppenheimer after like turkey on Thanksgiving.
Nuke your leftovers.
Because you
and
take
go
the family, right? It's like a history thing. Take the family to learn about the most destructive weapon ever created by human beings.
You're right. It should feel more like something that would be on like the History Channel, right?
Put it out on Black Friday.
Oh man.
So I think he might have tripped himself up by trying to do that. Why is Oppenheimer? Now I'm thinking about it. Why is Oppenheimer a summer movie? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Because
it's an Oscar movie.
He detonated a real bomb, right?
That's cool, but just hold it a couple more months.
Well, when was the last time he hasn't released something in that July time slot? For some reason, that week in July has become Nolan's week.
Yeah, I mean, you got to just get over that. You just got to let that go. You just got to let that go. You can't hold on to those things.
He became what we talked about before of like what director will get you to the theaters as long as his name was in front of it. And I think Nolan has become that in its own way. But
for a little bit.
Yeah, but I do agree with you that this is not going to be in 2020. I don't know if you've heard, but this world's been going through some stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if reminding like one of the most recent giant mistakes we've ever done is going to be highlighted on the screen.
I remember going to Tenet, and shout out. It was absolutely the first movie I'd seen in months and months.
Oh yeah,
that came out, right? But what an awkward experience. First time back at the movie theater, everything smelled like antiseptic everywhere.
Yep.
You had to order your popcorn on your phone, and it would show up with a lid on it. You know what I mean? You had to wear masks the whole time and cut a little hole in your mask for popcorn.
The buffer seats.
Buffer seats, although which I didn't mind those.
The buffer seats were fine.
But it was a weird time, man. It's just like now it's like I understand you want your movie to be at the theater, but everybody else's experience is tied to that. They're not thinking about Tenet. Oh, is it shooting guns backwards? No, it's like they're thinking about the antiseptic and the popcorn with the lid.
Yeah, you're right. That
you couldn't eat the popcorn. You couldn't taste the butter. It smelled like alcohol.
And that movie required like note keeping. And your brain was already pretty much fried.
I still don't get it. I'm still not exactly sure.
I needed a walkthrough for some of the walkthroughs.
I watched every walkthrough, and I'm just like, what? I still don't get it.
Like, oh, it's fine. Somebody will get it. So
I guess.
I don't think it's going to be. I think they're doing a Cola Wars. I think Barbie's going to have no problem taking the week. I think Barbie. We're going back to one of the main reasons for movies is the escapism, right? Or like you said, it's either escapism or what did you say for you? Like the movies are part of my life, that are part of my ritual. But you wouldn't go there to be depressed. I mean, everybody will watch a movie if you know you're going to be sad and you know you're going to be crying, but you never want to like, oh yeah, this one's really going to put me down in the dumps. Like I'm going to be depressed for days.
I'm never even considering any of that. I just go to the movies because I always have. Like I said, it's not my escape, it's my reality.
Yes, that's it.
I just go to the movies on Friday or Saturday. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm not going to get away from anything. I'm not, I'm blessed with a pretty okay life. I don't really need I don't need to escape anything. I just like to go to the movies, and I like to read movie news, and I like to see what's going on and what's coming out.
Yeah.
There's
a nice dopamine rush when you walk out of that theater, though, and you had a great experience.
When it's really good, which is becoming more and more rare, yes.
Yeah. Like when we walked out of, the Miami Connection.
Well, I was just excited that you liked it so much. I had seen it a couple of times, and I was like, it's always good to see it through somebody else's eyes.
That dopamine rush is so fun when something like that happens and you just stumble on that. And I kind of got, and I feel like Guardians kind of gave me that.
Guardians was very good.
Guardians kind of gave me that because that gave me closure.
Yeah,
that gave me even if Star-Lord returns or you just imagine Guardians keep going, you had a little bit of that dopamine rush. Seeing Spider-Man across the universe, it was movie 2 of 3, so you're like, okay, I'm gearing up for 3 whenever 3 comes out next year. Yeah. But when it's like going to be like there's going to be no Oppenheimer 2 Electric Boogaloo, Nuclear Boogaloo. It's not going to be there. So like when you're going to walk out, how are you going to feel?
You know what? I've heard some of the pre-buzz, And apparently people are walking out sick to their stomach or something.
Really?
Yeah, like shocked. So I don't know what the ending is or what's going on, but apparently it is. I mean, it's not pleasant. I mean, what are you going to do with a happy ending with a nuclear bomb?
Dude.
Mushroom cloud and put googly eyes on it?
You know, one of the, yeah, exactly. You know, we can talk about this because of our age. You know, one of the first movies I ever taped off of TV was The Day After.
The Day After, yeah.
It was horrible. It was horrible. Like, why did we tape that?
Yeah.
Why did we watch it? It stuck with us, man. They were just like, is it going to be 2023's version? We don't need A Day After in 2023.
Yeah.
Things are pretty messed up as it is sometimes. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff out there too but the news doesn't focus on that. Social media doesn't focus on that. You got to like go out of your way to find this good in the world because nobody's going to present it to you. So when you infiltrate the movie theaters and you take that, where your imagination could go wild, and it's going to put you in the dumps too. Like, I don't want to walk out and puke. I mean, unless I'm watching Terrifier.
Yeah.
But that's different.
Yeah. You'll puke in the mashed potatoes scene.
That's part of the experience. That's part of the experience, right?
Right.
Which Terrifier 3 is coming next year, so we'll see. But I don't know. I am excited that a lot of people are excited for Barbie. And I'm hoping it really does work.
I think it'll be good unless Warner Brothers somehow squashed it, which studios can do. They can squash a lot of fun.
Yes.
Hopefully they didn't spend too much money on it, and that'll give them some freedom. But again, given the pedigree of the folks they got behind the camera, I think there's potential for this to be like a subversive classic. Lego movie.
That's what I was thinking.
It can be Lego movie, but live action.
I was thinking Lego, like I just remember people you would never expect to be singing everything is awesome. You know, when everything is good when you're part of a team. I'm hoping that you're going to have that. And I'm sorry, man, RRR kind of exposed something that maybe I wasn't willing to face, but I've known it since the original Grease. If you get a good dance number in a movie, it puts you in a good mood.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much that really does help.
Oh,
like put you in a good mood with
Boogie Nights. Boogie Nights is depressing, but like it's got that dance number in the middle, which is amazing.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, I think again to bring up Guardians, just like at the end, you know, when they were playing, you know,
yeah, when they're playing the Machine, Florence and the Machine song, yeah,
and they were all doing that dance. That was like that does put you in a good mood. It gives you hope, you know. So I feel like you're right that we might get that with Barbie. So now I'm rethinking is like maybe we do need to cleanse our Oppenheimer palette and see Barbie second. Like Tom Cruise said, I'm seeing Oppenheimer on Friday and Barbie on Saturday.
I don't have tickets to Oppenheimer, do you?
No.
I got Barbie tickets and I got my lunchbox from Alamo, but I don't have Oppenheimer tickets up. I don't know when to see it. When is a good time to watch the destruction of humanity? Yeah. For brunch or for dinner? When should I watch it?
Yeah, and it's over 3 hours, right?
Yeah, it's too much.
Man, over 3 hours. I don't know if you've been. Have you been? When was the last time you've been to the IMAX here at Bob Bullock?
Oh, what was the last thing I saw there? I want to say it was a Marvel movie, but I don't know which one.
I was there for Jaws, and I was reminded that those seats were not built for comfort.
Yeah,
they were built for a 30-minute documentary.
I'd rather go to that one, to the one where we saw Mad Heidi. Let's go to that one.
Oh, just the regular.
Yeah, why not? I mean, the seats are comfortable. They got the Jack Daniels slushies. That's great. I'm all for great presentation. But when we walked into the Flash just to look at it, I was like, this theater looks great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That XD will be good. XD will be a good one. That's where I didn't go to IMAX for Inception. I saw it at that XD, and it works well there.
I'll tell you, the Alamo just put in Adobe, and it's great.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, you were telling me that you went.
I think it will be okay. The seats are adequate spacing, I think.
Yeah, because they messed that up. You know that sharing a table with somebody else like that you may or may not be with is like, you know, you can eat your fat Spalding.
I get real awkward on that.
Yeah.
I can't. I'll start dipping my fry into their dips, and I just don't even just make everybody's movie experience awkward. Alamo doesn't want me to do that. Give me my own table.
You don't have the imaginary Brady Bunch taped down the middle of the table
With the shower curtain down the center. I can't help it. Like, my family's really like that. Like, everybody just like, oh, what are you eating? Let me have a bit. Just grab it off the plate. I don't know if your family's like that. So if you got your nachos next to me, I might just grab one. PSA. PSA.
I think the last time that happened to me, she was a petite little girl. I mean, her husband was on the other side, and I was like, well, if she sits on my side, at least I'm not going to be dueling for knee space. But she was really little.
No, the new seats at Alamo South Lamar are pretty spacious. I think you'll be happy with them.
Okay.
I think you'll be happy with them. Obviously, there's always the battle for the armrest, but that can't be helped. But they have enough. They have enough room. The tables are not shared, and they've got a little flex to them, so they're okay.
That's what we need.
Here's the downside, though. The Dolby charges another service charge for Dolby.
Really?
So even though you got the membership, there's an additional little fee in there.
Is there?
And they keep racking it up. Man, I don't know what movies are expensive. What can we do?
Yeah, there's nothing we can do. Okay. We want to take a quick break?
Yeah, we'll go on a break.
All right, BRB.
Today, the United States is engaged in a gigantic effort to send men to the moon. For this effort, Pillsbury has developed many special foods. Here is the first one to be made available to the public: Space Food Sticks. To meet the demands of a long space flight, Space Food Sticks had to be a compact, nutritious, high-energy food. That's why they make the perfect between-meal energy snack. Energy for hard play. Energy for hard work. Lasting energy to feel alive. If that sounds better than some of the things your family fills up on between meals, you should try Space Food Sticks for good nutrition and lasting energy in a chewy, tasty snack food. Chocolate, caramel, and peanut butter. About 44 calories. At your grocer's next to the instant breakfast section. Space Food Sticks, the energy snack from U.S. Aerospace Research and Pillsbury.
It's landed. Ideal's new Astro Base has just landed. Look, the space lock is opening. And here comes the astronaut. He's being lowered from the Astro Base into the remote control scout car. The two space probes are being mounted for launching. The car is scanning the area. And there go the space probes. They're calling them back to the Astro Base. Mission accomplished. Ideal's Astro Base and Colonel Macaulay's space helmet are the greatest way to play outer space. You can scan the skies, launch deep space probes, fire rockets, destroy stray meteorites. Ideal's Astro Base is at your favorite toy store. Get your Ideal Astro Base today.
Eldon's new Billy Blastoff. Now he walks.
That's Billy's jet.
The jetpack on Billy's back powers his lunar crawler, runs the space mobile, drives the moon tractor, and makes Billy Blastoff walk. Eldon's Billy Blastoff Space Scout comes with 8 pieces.
There's 8 pieces.
Billy Blastoff. Now he walks.
Now, for every kid who has ever seen a science fiction movie, thrilled to the amazing strength of an out-of-this-world movie monster, comes Great Garloo by Marx. Garloo the Mighty. Garloo the Untamed. Garloo the Terrible. Who can stop him? Who can control this monstrous creature? You can, kids, because Great Garloo by Marx is yours to command. With these battery-operated controls, you can make Garloo go, stop, bend, pick up, turn. Yes, Great Garloo, almost 2 feet tall, will be your faithful servant. You name it, you're the boss. Bring out-of-this-world excitement into your house, kids. Own the most fantastic toy of all. Great Garloo!
Ideal's Robot Commando is here to help you. He's your one-man army. No enemy can destroy him. He fights off tanks, hurls missiles one after another. Even a squadron of planes can't stop him. Robot Commando fires his secret weapon. He takes orders from no one except you.
Forward!
Ideal's Robot Commando is battery operated to obey your command. Adjust the control, speak into the microphone.
Left! Fire!
Ideal's Robot Commando is here to help you. Look for your Robot Commando. He's looking for you.
The Zeroids are here. From the planet Zero, the Zeroids. Zirak, the Zeroid commander, frees himself from his own Zeroid capsule. Advance! Zobor, the Zeroid transporter. Change his Zeroid capsule into a Cosmobile for hauling. Zintar, the Zeroid explorer. Change his Zeroid capsule into a lunar sled. Command the Zeroids to defend. Move forward, backward, and transport. Command the Zeroids from Ideal.
Right. So I'm pulling them up now. We were just talking about this off the air, that I had to make a confession to you that I have not watched a Mission Impossible since Mission Impossible 3.
You haven't watched any of them?
I've not watched Mission Impossible
They've
since
gotten so
3.
much better since part 3.
And the funny thing is, I enjoyed, it's not like I disliked those. I just stopped for some reason. What happened between 2006 and 2011 that I stopped watching Mission Impossible?
I don't know. I mean, it could be anything, and I got no heat with you for doing that. I understand it could happen. You just lose a thread on a movie series, but they've gotten significantly better. They continue to get better.
So we have part 4 was Ghost Protocol.
Ghost Protocol's great, directed by Brad Bird, and then the rest after that.
Directed Ghost Protocol.
Yeah, he directed Ghost Protocol.
Really?
It's great. It's got that whole scene in Dubai where he's scaling the building. That's awesome. Then I think the rest are Chris McQuarrie. And like I was telling you earlier, I know this is going to do well because they have just achieved equilibrium. You've got a great actor with a great director, writer, and they just know each other. They know how to work. There's nothing better in a Hollywood than, as much no one wants to admit it, but this is the greatest thing in Hollywood. Creativity is collaboration. When you have collaboration, when you have a person or a group or people you collaborate with that you just are on the same wavelength,
and it works,
and it works, that's gold.
You feel that.
That's gold. And that's what they're doing now with the Mission Impossible movies. So I'm sure the next one's going to be great. But you should... Dude, Ghost Protocol is probably one of my favorite ones, though. I like it better than the Chris McQuarrie ones, honestly.
I had no idea that was Brad Bird.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen the memes. I've seen everything. I've seen the stunts, I should say.
I've seen the memes.
I've seen the memes.
That's a meme right there. I've seen the memes.
But I have not seen Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, Fallout, and now Dead Reckoning. And I feel like I have a week to try to watch all three of these movies. So, yeah, Brad Bird and then Christopher McQuarrie directed the other two. I just don't know. Again, for no apparent reason, because I don't like Tom Cruise's personal stuff. But as far as, like, his acting stuff, I've liked freaking Tom Cruise since Losing It. I mean, that's one of my favorite movies to go back and watch again is freaking Losing It.
Yeah. I'm more of a Risky Business guy.
Yeah. Risky Business was great too. He was just somebody that, like, everything, he was a true movie star in the sense of Tom Cruise, the movie star. Again, I don't get into any of his personal beliefs and all the weird stuff that he does outside of that sucks. I don't think you can turn a blind eye to it, like we found out with Flash, that it sometimes will reflect in the box office. But if it's just like, all things aside, if you just said this, so I arrive here from another planet, we have this thing called movies, this is what we would call a star of these movies, and this is his body of work, I'm like, I love that.
He does seem like a genuinely good guy.
Yeah.
Like, I bet if you met Tom Cruise at the mall or something, he would be just a great guy.
It feels like it.
He would shake your hand. He's got the gimmick down. He's got the smile down.
Yeah.
And he'll do the thing, and he'll say the thing.
Even the guy
great,
that, like...
Great seeing you. That's what you say.
He would.
Great seeing you. When you... I learned that from a celebrity. That's what you say.
No matter what?
No matter what. You always say great seeing you, because it's interpretable however.
Yeah, remember when he got, was it pied in the face or shot with a water gun, and he somehow caught the guy's hand because he's clearly super freaking athletic. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure he's extremely athletic. He's probably studied martial arts for 40 years.
And then he just like held the guy's hand. And he's like, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
No, tell me, why'd you do that? Mm-hmm. But yeah, he knows how to use a sword. He knows how to fly a jet. I mean, it's not so...
Ride a motorcycle?
Jump off the motorcycle with a parachute on his back.
Yeah.
He's become a little bit of American Jackie Chan, right? As far as like doing your own stunts.
Yeah.
So since where he... Oh, by the way, sidebar, did you see that very sad meme that's going around of Jackie Chan getting teary-eyed watching his old movies with his daughter?
Oh, I have not seen that one, no.
And he just starts crying.
I don't want to watch that. I will cry too.
She's like, Dad, you're incredible.
He was incredible.
Yeah, he really was.
He was incredible.
I mean, there was just something about him that was so magical that it's almost weird to think that he had two different sets of his careers, and he was older before he really got over, like, in the U.S. market, right?
Yeah.
That he was, but everything, but he's like so magnetic. He is another one that you would look at him and just like, movie star. Like, how did people not catch that sooner?
Well, I mean,
or in the U.S.
Yeah, well, I mean, he didn't speak English. That's probably part of it. But I mean, if you watch Drunken Master 2 will change your life. Well, I mean, it changed people's lives back in the day. I don't know. It's different now.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing that with my friends back in late 90s. I don't know. We drove 2 hours to go watch it.
Oh, really?
2 hours at a mall that was playing it. Drunken Master 2, I can say this as a shoot. It's probably the greatest martial arts film of all time. There's nothing better. Over here, it was released as Legend of Drunken Master, which I think is a travesty. But
I remember watching it once because I learned about Drunken Master through Tekken with the Drunken Master technique.
I love the Drunken Master technique, but that was all invented by Jackie Chan.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's
that's
not
what I
a
was
real
like,
thing.
I was like, where did that come from? And then
He invented it all for the Drunken Master movies. Drunken Master 2 is so good. Like, it is on a different level, a different plane of existence. There's action movies and there's kung fu movies and there's Drunken Master 2 on top of that. You know, it's so good.
Man, you make me want to go see it.
You should watch Drunken Master 2. Don't watch Legend of Drunken Master with the RZA soundtrack and all that. I mean, I love the RZA, but we don't need that. You can find Drunken Master 2 in its original format, I'm sure, out there.
Yeah. All right,
there's not a better martial arts movie. There's just not.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, I totally buy that. Again, he was such a huge star, you know, and it took Rush Hour to finally get that through people's heads. Which, are they really making another one?
What are they making?
That's the rumor.
Really?
That's the rumor.
With Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker, yeah.
I don't know about that one.
I don't know either. Chris Tucker, I thought retired, but then he popped up in Air.
Yeah, that's like an Indiana Jones situation.
Yeah, it's risky, man.
I'm not sure about that.
I'm starting to get to the point where I used to love the revisiting of IPs, but lately I'm just so scarred to the point where, like, let's just leave it alone.
Just leave it alone.
Just leave it alone.
Leave us alone.
Risky. But to flip back to this, if you were to do there is no machete cut for Mission Impossible. Just watch them straight through because they're all standalone, right? Like, except for this one, right? It's a Dead Reckoning Part 1 and Dead Reckoning Part 2, which is next year. But
well, if you're going to machete cut Mission Impossible, I would say you'd have to do it this way. Watch Mission Impossible 1. But don't watch it in a row with the rest of the movies. Watch like Blowout and then watch Mission Impossible 1. Because Mission Impossible 1 is all pretty much a Brian De Palma movie. So if you're going to watch Mission Impossible 1, that's got to be night 1 of your viewing experience. So you watch Blowout and Carrie or something and Mission Impossible. And that's how you watch that movie. Then you get to Mission Impossible 2. You watch Mission Impossible 2 and Hard Boiled and The Killer and Better Tomorrow 2. Because it's a John Woo movie. And it fits this movie has a lot of heat on the internet. They watch it and they think it's stupid. It's not stupid. It was 2000 and we liked John Woo and Limp Bizkit. That's what we wanted. That's what we wanted at the time. So you watch Mission Impossible 2, Hard Boiled, and The Killer. And you'll be okay. Then you get once you get to Part 3, that's when it actually becomes Mission Impossible, even though I don't like Part 3 all that much. So watch Part 3 as the kicking off point to Mission Impossible, then watch the rest of them.
Okay.
But Part 1 and Part 2 exist in their own machete cuts, where you watch them not with Mission Impossible films, but with films of that director.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That's good. That's a short.
There will never be a J.J. Abrams Film Festival, I'm sorry to say. It's never going to happen. No one's ever going to watch Super 8 and Alias and Mission Impossible 3 in a film festival.
I forgot he did Mission Impossible 3.
He did.
Oh, wow.
So what you want to do, if you ask me, Machete Cut starts with Ghost Protocol, which I think is fantastic. Ghost Protocol is I like it better than the Chris McQuarrie ones, honestly. So Machete Cut, watch Mission Impossible 1 with Dress to Kill, Carrie, and Blowout. Watch Mission Impossible 2 with Hard Boiled, The Killer, and Better Tomorrow 2. Mission Impossible 3, just skip it. And then jump to Ghost Protocol and watch the rest of them.
So then we got Rogue Nation, Fallout, Dead Reckoning.
I think that's the way to go.
All right. Yeah, I have some work. I have some work ahead of me. I need to get there as fast as possible.
Just start with Ghost Protocol. If you start with Ghost Protocol, you'll be like, oh, I do want to see what happens next.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. Was there any hanging threads from Fallout that people are waiting, like any kind of cliffhangers from Fallout that Dead Reckoning is going to solve, or is this just a continuation?
Well, no, definitely not. I think by the Fallout, they had achieved Optimum Mission Impossibleness, where it was actually we have a team and we're solving a thing.
Got
You
it.
know what I mean?
Okay, that sounds good. I'm excited for Dead Reckoning because our boy is back. When
For Mission Impossible 1?
when we think, a lot of people when they think Bad Boys, they think Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, but you and I, we think of Sean Penn and Viking and Tweety and Esai Morales. Isn't he in Bad Boys? Yeah, Esai Morales.
He's in Bad Boys?
Yeah, Esai Morales is in Bad
Oh,
Boys.
To me, he'll always be Bob from La Bamba.
Richie!
Yeah.
I also great and remember him in that, but I just always remembered him from Bad Boys, the better Bad Boys. Put it out there. Sean Penn, Bad Boys, 1,000,000 times better than all the Will Smith and Martin Lawrence Bad Boys put together. I mean, come on, you had Clancy Brown as a guy named Viking? Like, come on, this is great. And when you realize, like, wow, soda cans are really dangerous when you put them in pillowcases.
They can be dangerous.
Yeah, but I loved Bad Boys. So I was like, it took a second for me to register that, like, Esai Morales is the heel in Dead Reckoning?
He's always been a heel.
But I just had no idea. Like, I didn't know he was back. Like, I don't...
He was the heel in Ozark. You didn't watch Ozark?
Oh, no, I didn't watch Ozark. Okay, mate, see, I was trying to think of the last thing I saw him in. Like, your brain jumps all the way back. But let me see.
He was a heel in La Bamba. Bob was a heel.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely great in La Bamba for sure. See, even the first thing at Google is just like, what happened to Esai Morales?
Nothing. He's
Just
fine.
like nothing. He was in Chicago.
He's fine.
PD. But like, yeah, why would you say what happened to him just because they're not working there hasn't been any work that they've been in?
He's fine.
Yeah, so I'm excited, and he looked like it was just good to see him back on the big screen again. And I remember him we saw him on a lot of TV shows, right? He always seemed like he was on a lot of TV shows, but I couldn't find any of the big movies. Oh, that was the last thing I remember, and he popped up out of nowhere. He was in an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Was he?
So yeah, I don't know. I saw that on there. It was cool, but he was in From Dusk Till Dawn, the series.
Never saw it, but I could see him being in it.
I did. Yeah, I watched it. I don't remember him in that. Anyway, so is the whole premise of this next Mission Impossible coming out? Did they jump on the AI thing? Is this something to do with AI?
I have no idea. We'll know shortly.
Okay. Yeah. Did you pull your? I know I want to see this, so I'm gonna not really watch any more trailers. Which I respect.
Usually, if I want to see it, I just avoid the trailers. I don't really care about them.
Okay.
It's like, yeah. If I think I want to see it, I'll just avoid the trailers.
All right.
Of course, I go to the movies a lot and they play them for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but it's so much better to watch a trailer on the big screen like that.
Yeah, but I really do. It's funny because I used to be, back in the day, I'd go to the movies, and if the trailers had already started, I'd walk out and get the next screening because I had to see the trailers.
Agreed.
But now It's just like I literally want to walk in during the last trailer and sit down during the last trailer.
Well, we time it. I think Alamo you probably go to the most, or no? Would you say Alamo?
Yeah, probably I go there the most. AMC second. AMC, Dolby, and IMAX only. But here's the thing. Hey, theaters, how about this? Wouldn't this be a great idea? Can you just do an app or something with a running clock that tells me when the movie actually starts? Is that so bad? Can I just have that?
Yeah, I don't know if they want to do that.
I'll still buy the popcorn, but let me know how much time I have to buy the popcorn.
Well, they're making those ad bucks now thanks to Maria Menounos beforehand. That they want you to watch the commercials in there too.
Maria Menounos makes ad bucks?
No, Maria Menounos, the Nuvi.
Yeah, but she makes...
No, but I'm saying that's all that stuff that has those embedded commercials and stuff like that. Aren't they getting ad revenue for that? The theaters, so I'm
sure they are, but I mean,
If they make an app that shows you when that's going to happen, that's the equivalent of TiVo giving you that fast forward through the commercials button.
Yeah, but I still need to know how much time I have to buy popcorn.
I do like that.
Because if I get to the movie and there's not enough time to buy popcorn, I won't get it.
Dude, you can just put that in the bottom right. Just like you have this long to get the concessions because they're going to make money either way.
Exactly.
I think it's a great idea. I think that's a really good idea. Just have it running in the bottom right-hand corner. Just like you have this long before you better be sitting in your seat because you just never know. It's 15 minutes average for Alamo. Cinemark averages 27 minutes.
That's a lot of
27 minutes.
That's a lot of trailers.
Yeah, like when you get to the M&M
I've seen these all on my phone.
You've seen them multiple times.
Yeah.
It's very, like, when was the last time you've seen a trailer in the theater that you didn't already see?
I mean, it's not super rare. Because I don't really watch trailers online anymore. Even because you send them to me all the time. I'm going to tell you, I don't watch them. I don't watch them. I just don't hit play on them. I'm just like, I'll watch this later. When the universe tells me to watch it, I'll watch it.
I do. I get pulled into trailers.
Yeah. I just don't because I don't. Yeah. I know it's going to be there. I'd rather just see it when it's meant for me to see it.
I used to wish that they would actually take an hour screening and you just sat there and watched nothing but trailers and then you left.
Yeah. Well, they used to do that at Alamo Drafthouse.
They did?
Yeah.
There's just, you walk out excited. There's, you know what you leave with? Hope.
There's even a show on Sling that I have on my DVR, and it's called Nothing But Trailers, and they just play movie trailers for half an hour. Yeah.
And we can't, and the name trailers is kind of like saying pay-per-view, right? Because they don't trail the movie anymore.
Let me check your age and pop culture demographic. Do you remember Movie Time?
Movie Time.
Movie Time was a channel, kind of like VH1, and they just talked about movies all the time.
No, I don't remember. I don't remember having that.
Who was it? I think Greg Kinnear was on it.
Really?
I think Joel McHale was on it. Movie Time.
Oh, really?
We'll look it up on the break.
All right. Yeah. No, I don't remember that.
But it was a cable channel.
I would watch that today. To this day, I would watch that. I still watch that. I think podcasts have kind of taken that over because now I feel like they don't want. Now it's too polished. Like you didn't realize how polished Entertainment Tonight was.
Oh,
now you watch Entertainment Tonight, and this is the Joe Rogan generation. People are like, "What? Why?"
Yeah.
Or like First We Feast. That guy always, Sean Evans, always gets. Man, your questions are great. People like to shoot now. They don't like to be worked. Mm-hmm. But anyway, back to just real quick, just ending spot on Mission Impossible. Do you know if Dead Reckoning Part 2 has already been shot?
No, it hasn't been shot at all.
No.
Because
it has a 2024 date.
That won't happen.
You don't think it's going to hit?
Now with the writer's strike, nothing's coming. We're going to have a dead spell of nothing coming out.
Ugh. Well, we'll be going to see. We'll still go to the theaters. We will be the ones.
We'll be watching Blues Brothers on the re-release.
Blues Brothers, so I'm all about that. So we'll watch the old movies because and that'll be our go home spot right now. Why The Last Drive-In is so good to watch these old movies that just somehow retain charms. And we would have watched a lot of these movies back then, probably would have hated them. And now, as time goes on, I think we're starting to love all these movies we would have hated. Is that a fair assessment?
I think that's a fair assessment, but I think that comes from the fact that we've established this relationship with Joe Bob, and he's just like, here's a movie that I recommend.
Yeah, and we trust him.
There's really nothing other than movie recommends from people that you trust. I mean, how many? I bet you don't have to name them, but I bet there's 20 people in your movie recommends that recommend stuff to you all the time that you never watch.
Yeah.
It's like Joe Bob recommends it. Okay, I'm going to see what it is. And the thing is, what's great about it is that he doesn't reveal what he's playing until it plays. So you're already in your seat, and you've got your chicken wings, and you've got your beers, and you've got what you need, and you're going to sit through it. It's only 90 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what's beautiful about a movie is just not knowing what's coming. And now that we're living in spoiler culture universe, everything is ruined. Everything has already been told to you what's happening.
And I hate it.
I didn't know. I didn't watch Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. I was just falling asleep on that Friday night. I couldn't.
Oh, you didn't watch either of them?
I started watching it, but here's what happened. Here's what happened. Let me just tell you. I started the American Gladiators documentary on Netflix.
Oh, so good.
Like an hour before.
So good.
And I was way into it. I was like, man, I want to keep watching this. I kind of want to keep watching this. I was like, I switched over to Joe Bob just for the intro and all that. And then was kind of like, I kind of want to go back to the American Gladiators thing. I was like, I'll watch this when it comes, when they post the whole thing. So I kind of went back and forth and I watched the American Gladiators thing.
Well, I got to tell you, and I agree with you, and the American Gladiators documentary was so good. Have you ever had this happen? This is so good. I need to stop it now because I didn't know it was going to be as good as it is.
Yeah.
And I need to savor it, and I need to focus, and I need to just take it in. This
Yeah,
is
I'm going to start it from the beginning later.
This can't be something I can casually watch. And,
Exactly.
and that's exactly what happened with
Exactly.
American. I was like, I had no idea what I was in for.
I'll do that
Stop.
with a YouTube video sometimes. Oh, I didn't realize this was a good YouTube video. Let me stop it and I'll watch it later.
And you just savor it.
Is that the new mark of quality? It's so good I had to turn it off.
Yeah. Like you didn't expect it to be that good.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's something about when Joe Bob and Quentin Tarantino are reintroducing us to these movie of the weeks, stuff that was aired on broadcast television that we don't know. I don't even remember if I watched it. And it had Charles Durning in it, right? And Charles Durning played
the mailman.
He played the mailman who just stayed in that Otis, and he stayed in his gimmick the entire time. And he was walking around like back when postmen had respect, and he can walk into a place like he was a cop.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, it's the mailman. Hey, Otis, come on in. Go look around, see if there's anything we can do. Because he's wearing the official uniform.
It's government agent.
Yeah. But to me, I always think horror. I always think of When a Stranger Calls, when he opens the door and she opens the door and he's standing there. So Charles Durning, that kind of pulled me in. Like, whoa, he did a movie, a TV movie like that. So I don't know. I just really dug it. There's like the vibe. The same vibe it gave me when we watched the Jodie Foster, Martin Sheen one.
Oh, that one was great.
The little girl who lived down the lane.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Yeah.
That was the vibe I got from this. And he had Dr. Giggles as the Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Like this, I don't know, everything about it really, I think you should go back and give it a watch.
No, I do. I'm going to go back and watch the full show. I was just really into that American Gladiators documentary at that moment. And I was like, I kind of want to go back and watch that.
Yeah. It's worth it.
I did watch the intro and everything, and I came back to see what the second movie was, and yeah.
I've been going back and I've been trying to watch the Just Joe Bob, and for some of the ones, the earlier seasons that I missed. But then I'm like, I kind of want to watch the movies too, though.
You need to see the movies.
And to get the experience of that. And then the second one was the Beyond the Door 3. And this, like, wait till you see that. The whole backstory of why it's called Beyond the Door 3 and what happened to 2, what happened to 1. And there's a part 4 that's currently in production as we speak.
Always. Always.
Just everything about that. But yeah, again, he's become one of the trusted voice of classic content for me. Like,
yeah.
I would be really curious, and he doesn't do it, and maybe he's the same reason that Quentin Tarantino says he doesn't do it, where he doesn't want to insult any current filmmakers. So I feel like he dances away from it a little bit.
Well, yeah, I think that's appropriate. I mean, you don't want to review current films.
Yeah.
I
don't know if it would be as fun. Like, he'll go, he'll have...
That's somebody else's job.
Yeah.
He's a curator, not a critic.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, he is a curator. Because his Dead City special was great. I thought it was really good. I think that's really good for the brand. And that show turned out really way better than I expected. And then I'm starting to wonder if do I like this more because Joe Bob told me to watch, because I watched the first episode with him.
Yeah.
And now I'm fully committed to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense, honestly.
Do you ever go into, let's see if we can actually do it. Like, do you have movies that are part of the Last Drive-In, those classic movies that like really blow you away, other than they're good because of their charm, or you're like, wow, this was really a great movie?
Movies from the Last Drive-In.
Yeah, that we've watched this season.
This season.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the movies were this season.
So the one for me that you were, and I'm actually, that was another one. Like, holy smokes, I need to go back and watch this. Was the tiger movie? What was it called?
Oh, Tigers Are Not Afraid.
Tigers Are Not Afraid. Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, that was just like I
love that movie. I saw that at Fantastic Fest.
Yeah. That I kind of got blown away. Like, whoa, I had no idea that this was going to be that good. All right. Well, Wikipedia did not update the movie, so we can't go over. It has its season 5, Zombie 2, The Beyond, Witchboard and Devil's Reign. Oh, there it is. Don't Panic, Tigers Are Not Afraid, Babadook.
I saw Don't Panic at the live Joe Bob show here at AFS.
Oh, that was what they
I had
showed?
already seen. He played Don't Panic, yeah.
Oh, nice. What was the other one? I felt like the Babadook was the Babadook and Tigers Are Not Afraid that I was shocked that. I feel like that was the closest we got to current movies.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, I liked the Babadook better watching it with Joe Bob than when I originally saw it.
Yeah, sure.
It's like, what does he do that makes that work?
Well, it's just, you're trusting your friend's opinion,
Yeah. And then he did put Sharknado in there.
That was a good choice, though.
And the Amsterdam movie, I'm currently on the prowl for the full song, so change that to my ringtone. The cover song that they did, man, it was just so good. That show just works so well. I think more people need to be watching that. So if you're not, and I think, is this week the final one for this season?
Is this the final one?
It might be this week or next.
Darn, I hope not.
I'm worried because
they've only done 2 though. 3?
This is part 2 of this season.
But they've only done 3 in part 2 or 2 in part 2.
Let's see, what do we got here? No, they did. Oh yeah, Dark Knight is. Oh, May 19th was their break. You're right. Yeah, Sharknado was their return. They stopped on May 19th and June 23rd. Sharknado, Amped, Dark Knight, and Scarecrow. Oh no, I take that back. The last one will be July 28th. So we got 4 more.
Great.
Yeah, season finale is July 28th, which I'm traveling on the 14th and the 21st. So I'm gonna have to find a way to make that happen, and then I'll be here back for the finale. So cool, good stuff. You want to go home, tap out?
I hate the music.
I don't know if there was anything left to say on Mission Impossible except go see it.
Yeah, check it out on your own time. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Check out Barbie. Go check out Oppenheimer.
Yeah. What about this week? This week is considered a slow week, but we do have a new drop. The new Insidious drop.
I won't be there for that one.
No.
Yeah, I'm not an Insidious fan. I got no heat with it. I just never really watched it.
I feel like that's the current trend of horror, and I don't really remember much about it. Like, I've seen The Conjurings, and the last Conjuring was not that good, but the first one was good. So I am on the fence if I'm going to see this or if I'm going to finally go see Asteroid City or the Jennifer Lawrence fighting naked movie.
Yeah,
those would be 2 good options. So cool. We'll be back next week with the Geek Commander.
Are we doing Wednesday next week or Monday?
I think we're doing Wednesday because Geek Commander wants to come on. He's seeing a Tuesday night screening of Mission Impossible, and he wants to talk about that.
Oh, we should see it then, too.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to make that. Maybe that's what we do on Tuesday.
All right,
we'll go catch that. All right, we will see you next week. Peace.